Ladies and gentlemen, it may be late here in the UK, but I couldn't resist dropping this video right now. Breaking news! Rob Gronkowski is back in the NFL. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to guess where he's going to be playing. You probably won't need them. It's not hard to guess that he is not going to join up with the New England Patriots, his former team. They have traded his contract tonight. They are trading Rob Gronkowski and a 7th round pick in exchange for a 4th round pick from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady and Gronkowski back together again. Now, that's without mentioning the rest of the Tampa Bay roster, but let's just look into that. Brady and Gronkowski have been it's the most dominant tight end quarterback combination of all time. They have been one of the most dominant quarterback receiver combinations of all time. Brady's go-to man throughout all of that dominant time in New England was Gronkowski. Last year, no Gronkowski, a lot less success for Brady's offense. He didn't have his man he could always rely on in single coverage, double coverage, anywhere. Now, he's got too many players to be able to pass to. Look at that lineup. You've got Rob Gronkowski coming in at tight end 1 by the looks. OJ Howard potentially getting traded. Not sure if there's any suitors for him yet at the moment. But even if he does go, Cameron Brate behind him, that's going to be one of the best tandems of, whether it's a 2 or a 3, tight ends in the league. And then beyond that, Mike Evans can stretch the field better than anyone. And Chris Godwin to run all that short underneath speedy stuff that Brady loves and Brady has dominated the league with. It could be a career year for Chris Godwin with Brady, unless, of course, Gronkowski goes and takes all those catches away from him, which easily could. And let's not forget the defense that they have in Tampa Bay is already looking solid. They've brought Ndamukong Suh in, a powerhouse on the front. JPP's come back in. It's just a very, very solid Tampa Bay team, and they've got 3 picks in the first 100 to add to that with as well. So, what this trade means is undoubtedly Tampa Bay are poised for Super Bowl contention. Nobody can deny that. Seriously experienced head coach Bruce Arians, he will know exactly how to get the most out of these players. He'll be somebody that Brady respects, somebody that Brady trusts. It's not like you're putting all of these stars under a first-year coach, somebody who hasn't had success in this league before. Arians is a winner. Yes, he may be lacking that Super Bowl ring as a head coach, but he has proven success with teams that lack talent, and now he's got a team that has all the talent. Tampa Bay have been poised to be a breakout team, but under Jameis Winston, they've never managed it. Now Brady is under center. This is the year everything changes, and when you think about it, they've given up a 4th round pick to bring in a future Hall of Famer to their lineup, Brady's most trusted target. What a way to welcome Tom Brady, your big money free agent acquisition, to your team, then bring him his favorite weapon, coax Gronkowski out of retirement. Do I believe for 1 minute that Gronkowski coming out of retirement is just to spite the Patriots? No, I think he retired because he was physically beat up. We know he's had a lot of time away from the game, working with various CBD-related products. He spoke out about them. Obviously, with the CBA, rules have been relaxed with various substances that you can use. Gronkowski's kept a low profile for him. Really, he's not been up to too much in the sporting sense. A few WWE appearances here or there. He looked very fit. He looked fiery as always at WrestleMania, and I'm sure he's going to be fired up, ready to come back to football when this quarantine is all said and done. But what about the other side of the coin? Where does this leave New England? I've been wanting to talk about them in a video, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Obviously, perennial AFC East champions, perennial Super Bowl contenders. Can they do that without Tom Brady? Surely Bill Belichick has plans in place. We still don't know who the prospective starter is. They've brought Brian Hoyer, Brady's long-term backup. They brought him in. You've got Jarrett Stidham, who rode the bench last season, played a few snaps here or there. He looked very impressive at high school. His college career was okay. It wasn't ridiculous, but it was good enough to get him an NFL job. The Patriots have a first-round pick, mid-first round. There's talks of Jordan Love, a few other potential players that they could be looking at in the draft. We'll have to wait and see whether they go that route. It's highly unlike the Patriots to go first round on a QB. They haven't done that since Jimmy Garoppolo, although he didn't turn out half bad, did he? Anyways, the Patriots have 12 picks in this draft by picking up that fourth round. From a Patriots perspective, you got a fourth round pick in exchange for a seventh round pick. Nothing else. Gronkowski was not going to play for the New England Patriots this season. He was a retired player. Unfortunately for the New England Patriots, they won't save any cap money because Gronk's money for this season has already been accounted for in dead space. They do not get that back. That's New England Patriots' biggest problem right now is their cap space. They have about $1 million in cap space, and their draft selections will ultimately take up far more than that. There's very limited opportunities for them to create cap space. Joe Thuney's on the franchise tag at the moment. There's a potential that he is dealt before the draft, or a potential that he signs an extension to work some cap space there. The Patriots really in a tricky situation. Yes, they had a dominant defense last year that carried them to the playoffs. They had an offense devoid of all weapons. They now have an offense devoid of all weapons. Maybe you could say N'Keal Harry coming back this season is a positive. If he gets more snaps, more reps, a full season healthy, he could show that first round talent they drafted. But you've gone from having Tom Brady trying to pick out offensive talent that is not to the standard that you'd expect, to having either Jarrett Stidham effectively in his first year as a pro, it would be his first year as a starter at least, second season as a pro, of course. You've got perennial backup Brian Hoyer, who's never shown a lot of promise to be any more than a perennial backup, or the X factor of a first round pickup in the draft potentially. Who knows? The Patriots have done strange things at quarterback before. None other than picking up Tom Brady, pick 199, and turning him into the greatest of all time. So, that remains to be seen. But the Patriots are still in cap hell, and they've lost some of their key defensive pieces as well. Kyle Van Noy has left. Their front seven has taken the most hits. Jamie Collins, another player from that front seven who has gone, who flashed a lot of brilliance at times last season. You're really building around the McCourty twins, Patrick Chung, Dante Hightower, and then a lot of young pieces. The offensive line pretty much stayed together. There's a few backups who left, but again, it's down to whether they keep or move Tooney, and even so, that offensive line wasn't particularly great last season. Never really, due to injuries, they could never really fill the void left by Trent Brown from the last Super Bowl campaign. The Patriots, they are in a very strange position, and it's almost expected to be a down year for them, potentially even the first year in a long time they don't make the playoffs. I think Bill Belichick will have plenty of tricks up his sleeve. I think additional draft capital is great for New England. Bill Belichick has often found great use of late round picks. The fourth round especially, players like James White have come in the fourth round. He knows what he's looking for. There's 12 picks in total. Do I see the Patriots drafting 12 players? I do not. I see them trading up, potentially getting a second round pick, or maybe even trading higher into the first, or trading up into the first again to maybe pick up 2 players from that first round, the proper top end talent in that draft to bolster their roster. But there we have it. There's the Gronkowski trade, how it affects both teams. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, genuine Super Bowl contender. A little interesting piece about why I'm very intrigued by their story. I'm a gambling man. I'm sure there'll be plenty of podcasts about gambling coming up on here when the season gets back underway. About a month or so, maybe a little more. Can't remember the specifics, but I placed a wager, £10 wager, on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 28-1. It means my £10 would return £290 if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the Super Bowl. The odds on the exact same bet now, 11-1. I placed that wager before Brady had officially signed. It remains to be seen whether the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will pull it off. I'm going to be semi-rooting for them this season, a little bit. It'll never waver from my true allegiance. You can probably figure out that. And we have to wait and see if we even get an NFL season, or what guise it comes in. Will it be a reduced season? It will almost certainly be behind closed doors. That remains to be seen. The league's obviously talking about that. We've not heard anything public, but when we do, we'll be talking about it right here. What do you think about Gronkowski coming back? Are you hyped to see the Spike Master, the Gronk, the king of tight ends in the NFL return? Do we think he's going to be the same player? I think if the Buccaneers decide to keep O.J. Howard, it's probably the best thing. I think we see O.J. Howard and Brady take most of the snaps as the season progresses. Gronk comes in more and more because often the Patriots' biggest problem was you'd get to around week 15, 16, and then you'd notice Gronk was flagging and he'd be struggling, or he'd have got 1 or 2 knocks and he'd be almost out of it by the playoffs. So I think the Bucs bring him in very, very slowly, use him sporadically, get him up to speed. I don't think it would take very long to get him up to speed, but I think you want to protect him because of the issues he's shown in the past. Yes, he's had a year off to recover, but he's had a year where he's not been training for the NFL entirely. His body will have adapted. He'll need to adapt again. I think the Tampa Bay offense is going to be lethal. I think we see Brady probably throw 40 touchdowns, if not more, reach close to 5,000 yards. I also think Tampa Bay are going to go running back. Check out my mock draft to see who I think everybody else is taking. I think they're taking Swift, partner up with Ronald Jones in that backfield. He is an elusive pass catcher out the backfield, another thing Brady thrives on. So I think that's who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will bring in with their first round pick. And that offense is going to be record breaking. Do I think Brady is still an elite quarterback in the NFL? Last year was a down year for Brady. Yes, he had less weapons, but he was being a bit of a child at times. He was throwing his toys out the pram. I think we should have seen this New England breakup coming. I think now he's got what he wants. He's a winner, ultimately. And maybe he got out at the right time. Winners are selfish, and you cannot hold that against them. He gave New England 20 incredible years. 6 Super Bowls. Phenomenal, phenomenal return from one man. And you can't hold it against him as a winner for finding a team who can win now if he didn't believe the Patriots could. Which he clearly didn't. He believes the Bucs can win now. He believes he can win now. And I'm not going to doubt him. He's the GOAT. And I think we see MVP numbers from Brady again this season. That's all from me. Thank you very much. If you're listening to this tonight, then go to bed. If you're listening to this any other time, thank you very much. Comment below. Give me a like, subscribe. More of these X12 casts coming up. More NFL content, more Premier League content. more football content, soccer content, baseball content, whatever sport we come across, we'll cover it here. Thank you guys. Good night.